Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Forgive me, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties here at this moment getting this started, and hopefully we've got it now situated because it's just been a butt ugly day. Okay, it's saving changes. Let's see if we've got it. Forgive me here for 1 second. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, Michael uses the computer too, and the settings weren't saved on here for mine, and I didn't find that out until we started live streaming. I know it's not professional, but you know, this is me and not something else. So we have 25 people watching. Great. Okay, so let's go to the video. Okay. Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and he is on his throne right now. Where do we go from here? Hold on for 1 second, my man. Let me get this situated. And I hate when things happen that just kind of mess me up. I literally have to get more time just so that I can get this stuff set up and working ahead of time. All right, let's stop for a second here. Let's relax, take a deep breath, because I know everybody's pissed off. It sucks. It truly sucks seeing what happened to us yesterday, okay? I'm not going to make any bones about it. I'm not happy about what I saw. I want to see more than what we have from the Cowboys, but it is what it is. And unfortunately, Jason Garrett is stuck on stupid. He's basically not changing anything. He says, you know, he believes in Scott Linehan and what the offense is doing, and that we have more problems than just what's going on with play calling. Well, okay, that may be true. We do have more problems than just play calling. We've got to the point where we're no longer the best offensive line of football. We're making mistakes that are costing us. And actually, I had these all set up here, and for some reason, my system uncued me.
That part of our game
and kind of messed up on here. Literally everything.
Where the
messed up on me here. So
I've got to be more accurate. Got to be more consistent in making throws. We've got to get open. And go all the way across the board.
Off? Okay. Sorry. Let me re-cue this up. Oh, turn the lights on for business. I don't know that we can be ready for business tonight after what happened last night. We got so many things that happened that just were butt ugly. And I mean they were butt ugly. Dak is the quarterback. Some people will say he's a guy on the team. Take a deep breath, everybody. Here's what I do. I, in my life, have faced a lot of adversity. And instead of getting mad, because when you get mad, it generally speaking, it doesn't solve anything. What you have to do is you have to stop, figure out what you need to do to change things. How can you fix the problem that you have? What is the best course of action that I can do? Come up with a plan and say, this is what I'm going to do. Try and do that. And if it doesn't work, come up with another plan. I finally got the Vimeo one up. Boy, it's just like everything is just, it's acting like the Cowboys right now. Nothing's trying to work. And that's where the Cowboys are right now. Because let's stop for a second here, okay? No, Jobu's not getting a refill, not yet. Let's stop for a minute and take a deep breath. We're only one game out of first. Do you believe the Philadelphia Eagles are the same team that they were last year? I don't think they are. And it's crazy because here, being outside of Washington, D.C., listening to the Redskin talk stations last week, they were killing them like we're killing our Cowboys. We suck. Adrian Peterson, terrible signing. What happened to that guy? Wide receiver, safeties, cornerback. Josh Norman's a deadbeat. Jay Gruden needs to be fired. We need to plan for next year. Nobody's even showing up for the games. We got an 82,000 seat stadium. We only got about 55,000 people there. They killed him last week, but guess what? They got a win yesterday. Today, tea and crumpets. Everything was good. Everybody was happy. How great the team played. Josh Norman. I mean, everything was wonderful. And that's what the difference a week makes in the NFL. You have good weeks and bad weeks. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and lie to you and say that everything is hunky-dory with our offense, because our offense has got multiple problems. Dak, I'm trying to understand why everything is a freaking drop down. How you doing, Cowboys Crunk? I know you're up early, real early, because we know what time it is in Afghanistan. Everything's a check down, and we're not successful at getting first downs. Now, as bad as it was, we still had opportunities in that game. We still could have won that game, but it was some mistakes, mental mistakes, that killed us. Randy Gregory, stupid foul, 3 points. It could have come down to only needing one score to tie the game. Zeke Elliott got a lot of yards, but Zeke Elliott had 3 plays that could have been difference makers in that game. Third down and I think 5 or 6, and one of our drop downs, of course, on the outside slant, wide open with daylight in front of him, could have picked up first down, kept your defense off the field, gave him a rest. I'm not saying they would have necessarily scored, but they definitely could have gotten some momentum. That changed things. Of course, him stepping out of bounds, coming back in. Had we got that play, Dak Prescott's number looked a lot better now, wouldn't they have? And, of course, the fumble. Like I said, in Falcons Nation, you see Jobu's finger? I know your 1 and 2 team is not in here to talk trash. So keep it up, and I'll just go ahead and block you, okay? And you can keep sending me all these stupid-ass emails about your team. Your team sucks. It's the same record as my pathetic Dallas Cowboys. So you ringless wonders may just want to shut the hell up, because your team ain't going nowhere, buddy. I mean nowhere. And you're paying how much for Matty Ice? I'm sorry, buddy. That's wasted money. Now get the F out of here with that trash. I ain't playing tonight, man. I ain't playing with your dumb asses. And I'm sure we'll see some of the Eagle trolls back in here tonight, too. But listen, we had opportunities. Can't capitalize on them. And one of the things that we have to change, besides scoring some points, is I don't know why we can never get a freaking interception. As we see, turnovers are game changers. We had 3 yesterday. 3. Now, you guys are talking about how bad Dak was. Okay, you know what? And he's the worst quarterback in the NFL. Have you taken a look at some of the other quarterbacks that are out there? And I'm not trying to pump up Dak by talking about other quarterbacks, but I understand there are some quarterbacks out there that are doing just as bad, if not worse. Take a look at Marcus Mariota, because I've already seen people, we need to package up everything and move up. It's no damn guarantee that you're going to get a franchise quarterback just because you move up. Well, Koye can come on like he did last week and break down my video, so, that's cool. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a stud, because Marcus Mariota, in the 2 games he's played, he's averaged 101. 101 yards a game and a 53 average. But ain't nobody talking about it. Karen, he had, we got a Bichon dog. Thank you very much for Karen. And Bichon dogs are finding out have disc problems all the time. And unfortunately, ours has had Now 3 operations. So he had another operation, drove down to Charlottesville. Doctor just called about an hour or so ago, and dog's waking up and stuff, and he'll be in the hospital for a couple of days. I just had an operation like 3 or 4 months ago, so don't know how that's going to work out or whatever, but thank you for caring. But it was, and believe me, it wasn't because I kicked the dog last night because the Cowboy stunk, okay? So don't think it was me mad and kicking the dog. We had opportunities, but when you have, let me see if I've got the clip here. Hold on here, guys. I'm sorry, I'm a little discombobulated here. I am a creature of habit, and when things don't go exactly right, sometimes it's hard for me to get back on track. So here's the thing. Yes, I put a lot on Dak, and a lot of people say Dak has to go, and that's fine. Here's what we have to realize. There's no quarterbacks out there that you're going to get today. We tried getting to Matt Castle in the middle of the season because we said Brandon Wheaton was the guy. We have what we have right now. End of the year, maybe we can change that. We can maybe draft somebody else and all that. But right now, this is what we got. This is what we got. So what you have to do is, what can I do to make the best of this situation? Shout out to D.D. Taylor. You're right. 1 and 2 teams. Relax. You got to figure out what can we do right now to make him the best that we can be. And if we have to go through and move up in the draft, get another guy, then we'll move up in the draft and get another guy. But that stuff's not going to happen right now. It's not. And bringing in another quarterback right now to start over with this trash-ass system is not going to do it either. Now, hopefully, NFL won't get mad at me barring this, but I do not own this. But this is one of the plays that changes the complexion of a game. Because you finally were going to get something going. You're up on the 40-yard line. Okay, so momentum changer. You finally were beginning to get something going. And that one, go ahead and blame Dak for that one. Go ahead, blame it for him, okay? And I'm not saying that Dak needs to play a hell of a lot better. He's got to get the ball downfield. But when you have a play like that in a close game that there is no momentum, right now you are just fighting it out. That's a backbreaker. You see how the crowd got behind Seattle and came to life because of that turnover? Earl Thomas bowing in front of the Cowboy bench. You know how the 12th man got out there and said, oh man, you mean that's the guy that said he wants to go to Dallas? He just kicked Dallas's butt. That crowd came alive right then and there. And it's the same way as when we had that damn fumble against the Rams. Make no mistake about it, there's not a big difference between winning and losing in the NFL. It's about momentum and attitude, and of course with Seattle, getting the crowd behind you. It's mistakes like that, a couple little mistakes you can point to in a game and say, if that was different, the game would have been different. That was Blake Jarwin. We had 3 turnovers. 3. Zeke Elliott running down when we're finally getting some momentum going, getting a fumble that killed that drive. You take these things. Zeke Elliott stepping out of bounds, coming back in, which would have been a big, big play, ends up settling for a field goal. You take those 3 plays, and today we're talking totally different. We said we snuck out a victory in Seattle. That's got to change. We can't have these mental mistakes. We finally started running the ball. But I go back to, because I'm sorry, I don't know that bringing any other quarterback in here it's going to help. Scott Linehan has done nothing. How many Super Bowl rings does Scott Linehan have? How many? How many quarterbacks has he coached to an elite level? Or Kellen Moore? Dak's mechanics are off. Dak looks lost now. That goes back to the coaching as well. You look at some coaches, like saying Andy Reid, and I'm not saying I want Andy Reid here, but Andy Reid develops quarterbacks. What has Jason Garrett developed? I'll wait. Honestly, in the 10 years that Jason Garrett's been here as offensive coordinator and head coach, what has Jason Garrett developed as far as a player? Tony Romo was already here. Tony Romo was already a Pro Bowl quarterback. You know what, Joshua? You're right. How many rings do I have? I don't have any rings. I'm just a guy here on YouTube. I'm not getting paid millions of dollars to coach a team to get there. So when I'm there coaching a team and getting paid millions of dollars for it, then you can tell me, shut the F up about it. As Joe the fan that puts my money out there and stuff, I can criticize just the same way you criticize me. And if you think that Jason Garrett, how many out there of you guys out there truly think that Jason Garrett is the guy? How many of you out there? How many of you guys can name me a game where you look back and said, we won that because of Jason Garrett, because he did X, Y, or Z? Any game, just one in 10 years. Name me one game or one thing that you looked and said, oh my God, that's Jason Garrett's touch. Sorry, I don't see that. We've gone through, listen, we've changed everything on this team. We had, I understand, I got you. Dak Prescott sucks. Dak is doo-doo right now. Dak Prescott is doo-doo. But you had Tony Romo, who was everything. Tony Romo got all the records and everything. But you won how many playoff games with that guy? How many? You see so many other teams do a whole lot more than with less than what we do. And we've been waiting on this on-the-job training with Jason Garrett year after year after year after year. I look at players that leave and play better elsewhere. Well, you're right. You're right, Jacob Garrett. 100%. I did want, sometimes you need to make change for change's sake. If you keep doing the same thing, because like I've told you guys, listen, we had a Super Bowl 2-time back-to-back coach that Jerry Jones got rid of. But how come we've held on to Jason Garrett for so long? If you could get rid of a guy who won back-to-back Super Bowls, took a team that was nothing, and let him go, how can we hold on to Jason Garrett? I'll wait. I'll wait. And Scott Linehan, it's not like this is 1 or 2 games. We've seen the complete breakdown. And Scott Linehan has been given complete control of the offense. So as we look at this, as we've looked at the whole team turnover from the DeMarcus Wares and things like that, that era with Jason Garrett, as we've seen the Tony Romo era turnover with Jason Garrett, and now we're on to the Zeke Elliott, Dak Prescott, era and everything else. Everything has changed because even Jerry Jones has changed. Jerry Jones used to be the freewheeling, let's move up in the draft and grab a Morris Claiborne. Let's take 2 number ones and get a Roy Williams. He got a GM, that's a GM, but everything by name, who's getting some players, getting talent. You got rid of the players that you had. You had more Pro Bowlers than anybody else and couldn't win a playoff game in 2016. So start looking at that. If there's maybe any bright side to this, here's what I say. The NFL is a freaking week-to-week league. There's enough time to right the ship. You're only 1 game out of first place in our division. Teams that you thought were going to be good, Minnesota. Minnesota got beat by Buffalo. How do you think they feel in Minnesota right now? After dropping a hell of a lot of money on Kirk Cousins, they lose to Buffalo, who was thought to be the worst team in the league. How about Tom Brady? You know Tom Brady last night? Had a 65 QBR and 133 yards. Tom Brady in New England. New England isn't for once leading their division. The Miami Dolphins have got 2 games up, 3 games in on New England. You know what, Falcons Nation? You're right. My son is almost as old as the last time we won a Super Bowl. You know what's as old as the last time the Falcons won a Super Bowl? Dirt. Flipping trolls. Let me get to some of the questions and shout outs. How you doing tonight, Boomer Sooner, Albert, Pedro, Pat, 1984, Daniel, B-Bird. No offensive coordinator would look good with Dak. No, you know what? Hold on. Let's back up here. Here's the thing, though. If you have to just use Dak as a running quarterback, because clearly last week, having him running the ball a little bit, having that pass run option, actually worked pretty good against the Giants. And the Giants went to the Texans and kicked their ass. The Giants' offense looked a hell of a lot better, and their defense looked a hell of a lot better down there than they did against us. But we got away from all that. We're not challenging anything downfield at all. It's like they just get stuck on stupid. They did some stuff differently last week, and then they reverted back to what they've been doing before. And it's like everything is 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards. They've shortened up the field, and it just stinks. And again, 4 plays would have changed that offense a whole lot. 4 plays between Blake Jarwin dropping the ball, Zeke Elliott's fumble, Zeke going out of bounds, Zeke dropping the ball. If you'd gotten those plays, all of a sudden you would have had about another 100 yards in offense and would have kept the ball away to get to Seattle. And that's the difference between winning and losing, a couple of plays here and there. But what you have to do is you have to go back to basics. The fact that Jason Garrett's saying, oh, we're not going to change anything, you got to shake some shit up. You got to scare some people a little bit and try something new. Because you know what? I go through having to deal with problems all the time. The fact that I'm sitting right here, right now, still on YouTube, is because I didn't just roll over and die and keep doing the same thing. I had to figure out a solution to my problem. And I'm still working that to go ahead and develop it better. And so when it happened a second time, I was prepared for it. And I'm making changes so that way I can do things better. If I continue to do the same thing, it's just sit here and die. And that's what it feels like, Jason Garrett. Oh, well, we believe in Scott Linear. No, but what is there to believe? What is there to believe? In 2016, the reason why you were successful was Zeke Elliott, Dak Prescott, nobody knew anything about. There was no book out on it. It was a surprise because Tony Romo, everybody had been studying Tony Romo and the Cowboys offense right then and there. You came out there, you surprised people. 2017, you came back and said, we'll just do the same thing. Duh. But in the NFL, if you're not changing stuff up, in getting better, you're getting worse. So people figured it out. And you look now, defenses realize, penetrate on the Cowboys, make Zeke have to make moves in the backfield. He's not as effective as if he gets a full head of steam and knows exactly where he's running. And put it on Dak Prescott because your receivers. Thank you. I'm sorry, I missed that super chat there. Thank you. Let me roll back up in here. I'm sorry. I'm just a little bit perturbed between the dog having the surgery, having to drive a couple 100 miles back and forth, and everything else. I appreciate that super chat, and I did miss it. I am so sorry. And I can't seem to find it. Oh, well, if you want to talk about Jason Garrett, it's funny because we can go back to Jason Garrett's press conferences because they're always the same. They are always the exact same thing. Hang on 1 second here. I'm just about done. Well, I've been done with Jason Garrett, but it is what it is with Jason Garrett.
Snowball from there.
Yeah, obviously we didn't play well enough on offense. I thought we were able to run the ball well throughout the game. We didn't throw the ball as efficiently as we needed to. We weren't able to make enough big plays in the passing game throughout the game. We didn't do a good enough job, again, staying ahead of the chains, controlling the line of scrimmage in the passing game, like we would have wanted to in the game. I thought we did a better job rallying a little bit at the end, but certainly not good enough. The turnovers hurt us, the early interception, and then when we're giving ourselves a chance at the end of the ball game, the fumble, and then the late one. So obviously, I have to do a better job with the football, and overall the pass efficiency and explosiveness was not there.
Do you have a handle on the pass efficiency? I mean, the numbers have been out there going back to last year. Just not enough yards, not enough plays in the passing game.
Yeah, that's it, and we have to do a better job of that. And it starts up front all the time, obviously with our ability to protect and give ourselves opportunities. You got to win outside, you got to make great decisions and throws and catches, and we haven't done a good enough job of that. And we'll keep doing everything we can to look at ourselves and what we're doing and how we can execute better.
What was your overall assessment of how your offensive line played today in protection?
We'll have to wait and see and look at it. We had, again, we weren't efficient enough. It starts up front. There were some minus plays. Dak seemed to be moving around a little bit, but we'll look at it play by play and make those evaluations.
When you're in a stretch like this offensively as well, you talked before about not having the givens in your offense, not having that, and then one week Dak runs a lot, another week.
Okay, we don't need to watch anymore because there is every press conference is the same look, the same feel, and the same answers. We didn't do this, we didn't do that. We'll have to look at the film and we'll have to do a better job of it. Yeah. Punch Drunk Savage, thank you. You're right. Is there anything more boring than Jason Garrett's press conferences? Not much. And Woody, thank you very much for the super chat. You guys are therapy for me, to be honest with you. When we have situations and games like this, it's good to just come in here and be able to vent. And I know everybody's upset, everybody's disappointed, but again, let me go back to my original statement. There's still time to correct this. There are still opportunities, okay? There are still 13 games. Yeah, the Steelers are playing better today, so now we know Tampa Bay aren't what we thought they were. Yeah, we'll go ahead and give Jobu, since everybody's worried about Jobu's refill, we'll go ahead and get him one. You see where he's sitting right now. He's on his toilet throne. Because the Cowboys look like some crap, so to speak. So what we need to do is we need to get back to basics. We need to make some changes, okay? You've got to try and do some different things. First of all, even if it's going to be incomplete. You have to try and go down the field. I do not understand this philosophy of we're not going to try and pass it deep. Even if you say, Dak, I want you to throw it 10 yards over the guy's head if you're worried about making an interception. Just have these guys at least try and go down the field. Because if you don't, if you keep doing this stuff where you're literally playing in 15 yards of space, you've got a crowd in there and you're never going to move the ball. You've got to start using Dak Prescott out of the pocket. You've got to move him around. You've got to do rollouts. You've got to go ahead. If you have to do a freaking option, do something to try and get a couple of positive yards and get at least some good feeling and goodwill with this offense. Well, Dante shrugs. Yes, he should have been fired. I don't understand Jerry Jones being stuck on stupid with Jason Garrett. I'm sorry. Jason Garrett is not the guy. It's not the answer. Here's the problem in the NFL. Although maybe it won't be a problem because now if you look at a quarterback cross-eyed, you're going to get a flag. There's not many quarterbacks out there. You can go ahead and package up and try and move up and take a quarterback, but that's not always a guarantee. You know, imagine if we had picked up Paxton Lynch. Yeah, Vosh does like Jason Garrett. He doesn't, you know, he'll put it on the player's execution. But see, to me, here's what a coach needs to do. A coach needs to put you in positions to succeed. He needs to make sure you are mentally prepared for anything that comes at you. You need a coach who can put a foot in your guy's ass when they need it to motivate them. And you need a guy who knows how to coddle them when they need it. And you need to do this sooner than later. I'm hoping that maybe Stephen Jones, in a way that they basically gave the keys to Scott Linehan, and all you guys who say it's not coaching, understand Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan, and that side of the team are the ones who want to get rid of Dez. They said, we will be better without Dez. We don't like Dez. Jerry Jones was on the other side of the fence, and Jerry Jones wanted to keep him. Terminator X, I can't put the game on, man. I put the game on. The NFL will shut me down. They might even shut me down for putting Jason Garrett on. Well, Larry Allen, I'm sorry, buddy, but I sound like a broken record because it is the same shit. We've been dealing with the same shit here with Jason Garrett all these years. And until we get rid of Jason Garrett and this lame-ass offensive coaching staff, you're going to get the same results. So what do you want me to say differently? Jason Garrett's a great coach. All the players that he's had underneath of him are the problem. It wasn't good enough to have the best offensive line in football and the FedEx Ground Player of the Year and the Rookie of the Year. No, that's not enough to go ahead and win a playoff game. It's not Jason Garrett's fault. It wasn't Jason Garrett's fault that we had a 26-3 lead against the Green Bay Packers at halftime, threw the ball more than the Green Bay Packers, and lost the game. Not against Aaron Rodgers, but Matt Flynn. It wasn't Jason Garrett. It wasn't Jason Garrett's fault that we had a 21-point against the Detroit Lions twice and ended up losing the games. That wasn't Jason Garrett. It wasn't it wasn't Jason Garrett's fault that we iced our own kicker. No. None of those things were Jason Garrett's fault. None of those things like, it was 4th and 1, and instead of picking up the first down, killing some clock, you throw the ball to Dez Bryant for a catch. No catch. Jason Garrett had nothing to do with that. Jason Garrett had nothing to do with leaving time on the clock for Aaron Rodgers. That's not Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett's a great coach. Jason Garrett's fantastic. All the players we've had suck. Bromo, DeMarco Murray, Des Bryant. It's all those guys' fault. He should coach every team in the NFL. You've changed everything and tried everything. You've turned the roster over. Just look around the NFL. Jared Goff right now is playing fantastic. Didn't his first year, though, did he? Did he? Everybody said that guy's a bust. He sucks. Now, he's one of the hotter quarterbacks in the NFL. The difference? He got a coach that found out how to use him. Jason Garrett cannot deviate. He has a plan. He's, you know what? I can actually sympathize with him. I am used to doing the same thing all the time. You know, I come in, hello friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. I don't think about that anymore. I just know it. And when I come in here to do my show, boom, click start, cue the music, and go. And I'm right into a flow. Everything goes smoothly. It just flows and flows and flows. But then I find out the camera's still on from where Micah was doing game thing. Oh, crap. Wait a minute. What do? I panic. I get off my game. I don't know how to function. That's Jason Garrett when it comes to coaching, and there's something thrown at him. You lose a player. Your quarterback starts getting sacked by the same guy 6 times. Oh, what do we do? This is not the way I wrote it up. This is not the way I'm supposed to do it. Thanks, Pat. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you being in here and stuff. And thanks about the dog and everything else, and have a good day at work tomorrow. I appreciate everybody who comes in here and supports the channel. And I know right now it's dark. It is darkest before the dawn right now, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to get better. Because the way our offense is playing, it can only get better. Now, the Detroit Lions got a victory last night at home against New England. But, the question is, was Detroit really that good? Thank you, Juan. I appreciate that. Take a shot with me, brother. We believe in our boys. Not going to take a shot on the air. But you have to wonder, is this finally the year that everything falls apart for New England, and New England is just a bad team? Although, let me get back to my own sayings and my own roots. You still really don't know what team you have until really October. Because you look at a couple of teams the first couple of weeks and you say, oh my God, they're going to be in the Super Bowl. And I'll take Tampa Bay right now. First 2 weeks, Ryan Fitzpatrick dressing up, pimping. He was the king shit. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tampa Bay 2-0. Kicking ass. Tonight, they look like Tampa Bay. What a difference a week makes. Last week, the Redskins looked like hot garbage, on fire. Yesterday, they stopped Aaron frickin' Rodgers. Totally different team. So don't give up completely. Just have your eyes wide open on the team. And we as fans need to keep putting our frustration out there. Keep letting Jerry Jones. Okay, Dave L. Oh, let's back it. This is one of the things that actually bothers me. Everybody is concerned about paying Dak and how much money he makes. Okay, can we at least get through the season? Because we don't have to talk about signing him a contract today or next week or the week after. In fact, we don't have to talk about it next year because they could franchise tag him the following year. So let's forget about the money situation with Dak Prescott. For some reason, people are obsessed if Dak ever makes a dime. Yet, Sam Bradford's out there getting $20 million for this year, just literally stealing money. He's been benched. Stealing money. Ain't nobody saying, hey, take that money back from Sam Bradford. Dak hasn't been paid shit yet. And everybody is ready to say that guy doesn't deserve a goddamn dime. Man, what the hell is wrong? That's not even part of the conversation. What you do is you do the best you can with Dak during the season. You evaluate it at the end of the season and see where he is. Right now, we need to worry about winning a damn game, about getting some first downs. How about we correct stuff and then say, okay, you know what? We got this stuff fixed. He's a decent quarterback. He can lead us. And then we talk about some money. Or we discover that he is truly not the guy and maybe needs to be the backup for the Dallas Cowboys. And then we talk about his contract. You are putting the horse before the damn cart. We're 3 games into the season. 3. You got time to turn it around. I've seen teams look worse than this make runs for the Super Bowl. And all of you guys that are out here that have given up on the team, fine, give up on them. Stop watching. Don't come in here and comment then. Give it up. Because you're not really a fan. I'm a fan. I ain't happy about what I'm saying. I'm going to believe in him, but I'm going to go ahead and be realistic, and I'm going to criticize him and say the things that I think is wrong with it. But some of you people are so ready to just say, oh, it's over, it's done. I hope you don't do that in your life, because if you do, your life has got to be pretty pathetic because you always have this loser mentality. Listen, deal with things when they come. Don't project things that might happen. You're wasting your time and your life. You deal with whatever. You can call me delusional if you want. That's fine. But you know what? I've been around for it'll be 53 years in 2 weeks. I'm getting old. I've seen a lot of stuff. If you sit around and worry about things that might happen, you are truly wasting your time. What you got to do is think positive, put what you want to have happen out there, and come up with a plan. Try and figure things out. Because that time that you're spending saying, oh, it's going to be awful, oh, the season's lost, it's over with, everything else, is productive time that you are wasting in your life. And guess what? Life is too short. I've lost too many friends, family members, and people that I care about to waste time. For all I know, today may be my last day. And I'll be damned if I'm going to sit around being depressed about what might happen. I'll deal with what happens right now and where it is. Okay, Sandy, go ahead and bench him. With the same junk-ass coaching philosophy we have right now, Cooper Rush, you think he's going to be the answer? Mike White? It's the same thing. I'm fine. You know what? I'm fine with that. But you're still going to have the same problem. You're still not fixing the problem of where we are. It's still the same stupid offense. Take a look at 2015. 2015, without Tony Romo, what did the team do? I understand you talk about, well, it's Brandon Wheaton. He's not exactly cream of the crop. But Brandon Wheaton was in your system for a year and a half, and you couldn't coach him enough to win a game as a backup? But he can go to the Texans and in a week win 2 games, get them in the playoffs? Well, I'm glad you're here anyway, Corey. I appreciate it. Corvette, Texas Screwhead, Oha Dude, I Am Infinite, Steve Delton, Devin Stacy, Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas gets the award for tonight, okay? That's for you. You hit the nail on the head. Our coaching staff is not going to develop a quarterback. They won't. They haven't. And if he hasn't done it in this amount of time, what makes you think he's ever going to? Do I think we beat the Lions? I think we got enough defense to beat them. I think we have enough defense to beat them. Yes. Of course, everybody's going to say I'm a homer. As bad as it was yesterday, you still had opportunities to win the game. There you go, exclusive, right. You looked at Cooper. Yeah, let's take Cooper Rush, for example. Last year, he looked better than he did this year in preseason. So what happened? He's been with his training staff for an extra year. You haven't seen him improve. You see him go downhill. So that's where you have to ask, was it Dak that he just sucked to begin with? Or was the fact that the coaching staff never got him to step it up and teams learned how to stop him? All I know is finding quarterbacks ain't easy. Ian Good, how can you laugh at two broken collarbones and broke back retired, laughing your ass off? That's just wrong, dude. I don't wish anybody injury. And the fact that what these guys do for our entertainment is unbelievable. And it always kills me how Joe the fan out there talks about how easy, if he did this and he did that, he's scared. I'd like to see some of you motherfuckers out, excuse my language, see some of you guys out there trying to do what these guys do. What move would I make? Okay. Alfredo, here's what I would say right now. Because one of the things that bothers me is always Jerry Jones talks about, Jason Garrett, he's safe. If the Cowboys don't make a deep run in the playoffs, is Jason Garrett on the hot seat? Now, technically, you can't really say he's on the hot seat. But you need to understand that you're playing for your job. You should be a little bit scared and worried about keeping it. Because when you are worried and a little bit uptight that the guy behind me might take my position, you work that much harder. You have a fear of being unemployed. What you need to do is you need to fire Scott Linehan. Set the tone and say, Jason Garrett, here you go, buddy. You either sink or swim. Throw his ass in the water. You've been here long enough. You tell us what the problems are at the press conference. You make the play calling. You fix this mess or you're gone. And at least, if you're Jason Garrett, thank you, Ricky Lee. Comic strip coaches. Garrett is Archie and Linehan is freaking Jughead. This staff is pathetic. I'll agree with you on that one. I appreciate the super chat. At least let him go down swinging. Because this is really his contract year. He's got one more year after this one, but you have to either extend him or fire him. So that's the move I would do right now to set the tone. Jimmy Johnson, you fall asleep in a meeting, he's going to fire. You're gone. Out of here. Go. You're not doing the job. This crap of we support Linehan? What? Ain't nobody scared about their job? Ain't nobody scared about the job. And that's why we keep being stuck on stupid. So that's what I would do right there. Make Jason Garrett prove it or lose it. Trade Dak for Jobu. No, they can have Jobu. That ain't no problem. We don't have to trade him. Ryan Switzer's TD. Okay. You don't think Earl is coming to Dallas? Well, Seattle is still trying to hold out for above and beyond. And right now, unless Earl Thomas is playing offensive line or wide receiver, although I will say this much. Ryan Switzer just got a touchdown. I will say this much. Earl Thomas's 2 interceptions are more than we've had all season. And that's another one of the problems. Our defense has been getting sacks. Our defense has been playing well, but you got to get turnovers. That's where we have since 2014 was the last time we were good at getting the ball. And we just, for whatever reason, have not been able to do it. Now, back to what I was saying on the game last night. Thank you Big Rig, appreciate the super chat. Understand this much. Russell Wilson didn't exactly throw and light up the world yesterday. He only had 190 yards passing. Cam Newton only had 160 yards passing against us. Eli, I think, had 220. We're not getting great performances against us. It's not that we are, Dak is getting beat by 200-300 yards. It's a couple of plays here and there that make the difference between winning and losing. And understand, you were fighting against two major things yesterday. You had Seattle, actually three. Seattle realizing that this is the season. The season is on the line. If we go 0-3, cancel Christmas, we're done. Grab your golf bag because the season is over. Your chances of making it to the playoffs going 0-3 are zilch, just about. 2.45. 2.45 of teams that have started out 0-3 have made the playoffs. Not real good odds. So you got that you were fighting against. You have the fact that Seattle was finally home after being on the road for 2 weeks. So you had that crowd. And make no mistake, Seattle is one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. Third, you let Earl Thomas get that interception early. That ball slipping through your man, Michael Gallup's hands. That ignited the crowd and made it hard to operate your offense. Simple fact. It's difficult to get a win in Seattle. We haven't exactly have a great record there. You'll remember 2013, Sean Lee getting lit up and the team losing there. You'll remember us losing fumbled snap by Tony Romo in the playoffs. You're right, William. And here's the thing. You have to work on his problems to make him better. I still go back to, here's what I look at. I understand the new philosophy of the NFL now is don't get anybody hurt. You got to have everybody healthy. Well, we got everybody healthy to the most part to start the season, but they weren't prepared to play. Having them healthy and unprepared to play is maybe we would have been better off if we had Zeke Elliott running some in preseason. Maybe we would have been better had we had Dak Prescott more than 4 series in the preseason, working with all the new wide receivers. Maybe it would have been better that they worked together to get some rhythm. It's not an excuse. I'm looking at these and things in totality. These are all things that add up to it. If you don't think it makes a difference, then you don't know football. You can't just show up on Sunday and say, we're going to play and we're going to do great. What if Dak wasn't our quarterback? Probably have the same results, considering that Dak has only been our quarterback for 3 years, and it's not exactly like Jason Garrett was winning playoff games and Super Bowls with other quarterbacks. The only quarterback that Jason Garrett has had success with, because let's look at this now. Let's honestly look at this, is with Tony Romo. And it wasn't that successful every year. Remember 3 8-8 years back to back? I'm not saying, no. I didn't say Dak is perfect. No. Dak has a long freaking ways to go. Dak is stinking up the joint along with everybody else on the offense. I ask you, name me one player on the offense that you say is a Pro Bowler right now. Name me one guy right now on that offense that you say is playing great. One guy, just one. I'll wait. One guy that you look at and say, if everybody played like him, then we would be winning. Because I saw Tyron Smith get beat like I ain't seen him beat before on a speed rush for one of those sacks. I've seen Dak Prescott holding onto the ball too long. I see wide receivers that aren't getting open. I've seen wide receivers that are letting the ball go through their hands and turn into a pick. I'm seeing my running back fumble the ball or step out of bounds, on plays. The total in here is the whole thing stinks. It stinks to high heaven. Cole Beasley has played, okay, I'll give you Cole Beasley, a little bit of hot sauce. Cole has played better than anybody else out there. I will give you that much, but okay, name two. Punch drunk. Yeah, you know what? I hate to say that, but we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes. But, you know, it may be that Tyron Smith is not going to be the guy that he was before. Well, Crazy Corvette, part of the reason why Dak Prescott had so many commercials is he's trying to make up for not getting paid, you know? You got second and third string quarterbacks that are making more money than he was. Thank you, Extreme Archery. It's funny when a Redskin fan comes in here as the voice of reason. But he'll understand exactly from last week's feeling of feeling good against the Giants to this week's feeling like crap. Because last week, I know Redskin Nation was mad as hell. This week, they're happy as can be. What a difference a win makes. So, what we got to do, it's already 10 o'clock. Here's my thing. The way I look at an NFL season is this. I try and break it down into quarters. 4 games, okay? What you have to do in each of those quarters is you have to have 2 that you win 3 games. And the other 2 you can go 500, okay? If we can at least get a win against the Lions, it's 2-2. That's 1 quarter out the way. Then that means another quarter you got to get 3 games. Another quarter you got to get 3 games, and the other one you can get 2. And that gets you to 10-6. 10-6 will get you to the playoffs. So understand the season's not over by any stretch of the imagination. But you've got things you have to correct. And let's be honest when we look at this right now. When the schedule came out, and you think about what you heard from the talking heads and the experts, one, they said the New York Giants with 2-time Super Bowl MVP Eli Manning now has a running back in Barkley. He's got Odell Beckham coming back who'll be healthy. They're going to be improved. You had the Seattle Seahawks playing them in Seattle. You had the Carolina Panthers. You were playing on the road. And you had the Detroit Lions. Honestly, what did you think we would do those first 4 games? Did you think we were going to be 4-0? Carolina was a playoff team. Seattle beat us last year. It was close to being a playoff team, and you're playing in Seattle. You thought the Giants were going to be better, and you thought the Lions were pretty good too. So if you looked at that, I can't say that anybody thought we'd be better than 2-2. You win next week, you're 2-2, you're still in great shape. Okay? Oh, Paul Alexander. I'm wondering what happened to our great offensive line. You thought La'el Collins, when you talk about people regressing, La'el Collins from his rookie year to now, you can't see any development there. Tyron Smith, you can understand because he's had the back issues and stuff. Zach Martin, of course, is still Zach Martin. But after that, our offensive line does not look anything like it did before. But there's still time. I'm hoping tomorrow is the players' day off. I'm hoping that between now and Wednesday when those players come in, that they do like I do. They sit down. They come up with a plan on fixing things. And it doesn't need to be major things. Look, just start with baby steps. Start with baby steps. Get the basics down. Just do a little bit more. Figure out how to keep from going out of bounds. Figure out how to catch and hold on to the ball and not let it get punched out. Do these things first. Get a couple of things right. Then the next week, work on getting a couple more things, and a couple more things, a couple more things. Try at least getting the ball down the field. Work on Dak Prescott's reads. Working on trying to get a little more chemistry. You don't have a whole lot of time, but come with a game plan and work on your run-pass options. Swaggy, come on, man. We suck. I can't believe I'm saying that. Yeah, but you know what? Here's the deal, guys. Think about it. We got no place to go but up. Lander Vaden, well, you see why we got Lander, I can't speak anymore. Van Der Esch. It's a good thing we did because, he's got 21 tackles on the season. The guy that everybody was already saying was a bust, why we drafted him? Because Sean Lee always has hamstring issues. You can't, what is our identity? Right now it's defense. It's defense and a pass rush. And we have to get back to running the ball. Oh, before I go, see, here's the thing. You guys keep me going. Somebody explain to me how it is that we have Zeke Elliott, who's is tied for the lead at 274 yards in the NFL, but has not rushed the ball for more than 17 times in a game. Can somebody explain that to me? When your quarterback is just not quite there, the cure for it, because Zeke averaged 7.2 yards a carry? What? For now, be the best for us to run more. There you go, D.D. Tiller. I agree with you. And you're right. What a jerk. He's talking about Falcons Nation. Yeah, you would think the Falcons were 3-0 and running away with things, that they have the same record as we do, and he's still talking trash. He's kind of like an Eagle fan. Offensive coordinator's an idiot. You're playing catch-up first half, and you know what, though? But Extreme Archery, you're playing catch-up, but it's not, you weren't getting blown out. And the fact that you can get a first down is more important than trying to pass the ball when you were throwing for 3-yard outs. At this point, you just got to be able to start getting some rhythm and be able to start moving the ball. Because with this offense, you got to understand, this offense is predicated on being able to run the ball because that will set up your pass. And when you abandon the run, you're exposing your quarterback who has limitations. You're exposing your wide receivers. You don't have the big play wide receivers. These guys need work together with playing with each other. So if you can get the running game going and teams have to put that 8 men in the box, then you get one-on-one coverage with these speedy wide receivers that we have, and hopefully then you can start hitting them. We have really yet to get that philosophy going where you've got Zeke running well in the first half. And again, that's where they're still stuck on stupid and don't change anything up. But guys, I'm tired. I'm depressed. But tomorrow the sun will rise and we will do better. I can guarantee you we will do better. I want to thank everybody for being here and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. And we'll see what we're going to see. I believe that something is going to happen in the next couple of days. I don't know what, but I think there's going to be some kind of a change to send a message that's coming. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Jobu, and thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And